Rise and shine. You're watching WCTV Eyewitness News. The Good Morning Show starts now.
All right, coming up at 6, the local sheriff's department making a drug bust inside this hotel. We'll tell you where and who was arrested.
Plus, we'll explain why this big snake is making some big headlines in the Sunshine State.
Did you warn your mother?
I didn't, because I didn't know I didn't know what we would be teasing, because that wasn't in there earlier.
That's a big snake. That's
I'm sorry, Mother. Rob, you did just mention it, but I thought it was going to be later on.
I was just pre-reading the story because. Wait till we get to that. That one will be good in a little while.
So I did just text my mom, but apparently it was too late. So that was a sneak peek of the snake, and
all right.
yeah, sorry, Mom.
There's more on that coming
yes.
up. Let me get to the forecast for you. You can finish your conversation with Mom right there. What we've got going on our way is kind of a soggy start to the day. And now that's going to keep the temperatures down, not just this morning, but this afternoon too. I see 70 in Live Oak and Perry, 71 Valdosta, Tallahassee's at 73 in Bainbridge. We're starting off at 74. Look at this radar picture. There's a whole bunch of activity along I-10. As a matter of fact, there's a flash flood warning for parts of Jackson and Calhoun County south of I-10 because we've had a whole bunch of rain here over the past couple of days, and we're getting a whole bunch of it right now, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. So if you've got travel on I-10 west of Tallahassee, that may be an area that you encounter. If it looks like there's too much water on the road, it's always a good idea to expect there to be too much water and go a different way. It only takes a little tiny bit of water to make your tires start going the wrong way. So be careful out there in some of these areas that have seen rain day in, day out and have some flooding concerns. And I think there can be some more flooding concerns later on in more areas that get more rain. Today, showers are a big part of the forecast that will keep our temperatures down. I'll break it all down in just a couple of minutes.
Our top story this half hour, members of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit arresting 2 people on drug-related charges inside a hotel. And one of them is being linked to several drug overdoses in the county. Deputies arresting 44-year-old Timothy Gay along with 26-year-old Sierra Roylance. They're now facing several drug-related charges. According to LCSO, Gay having about 37 grams of meth in his possession. Detectives later found 89 additional grams of meth and 3 grams of fentanyl. This all taking place at the Quality Inn Hotel off North Monroe Street near I-10 in Tallahassee. Gay is charged with 2 counts of trafficking, possession of a controlled substance, and 2 counts of possession of paraphernalia. Roylance is facing a battery charge as well as trafficking methamphetamine over 14 grams.
A Tallahassee man guilty of killing another man in front of his daughter. A jury deliberating for 6 hours before convicting Artez Adams on first-degree murder charges. Adams convicted for shooting Cantavius Martin following an argument in May of 2020, all unfolding in front of Martin's then 12-year-old daughter, who testified during the trial. Following the verdict, Adams sentenced to life in prison. And new this morning, Texas is challenging an executive order President Joe Biden signed last week, keeping healthcare providers from denying abortions in certain situations. Health and Human Services issuing new guidance Monday saying state laws cannot deny abortions in medical emergencies. Texas is arguing that the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act does not allow the federal government to force providers to perform abortions. The suit claims that the new guidance forces hospitals to decide between violating state law or potentially losing federal reimbursement. Coming up at 6:30, our Michelle Roberts tells us about a situation where a girl needed to cross state lines in order to get an abortion after a man allegedly raped her.
All right, well, here's that snake story in Florida. A nursery raid of sorts in the state's Big Cypress National Preserve led to officials capturing 2 female Burmese pythons, dozens of their hatchlings, and 23 eggs.
All right, this was in South Florida. It wasn't in someone's backyard around here. But the Florida FWC saying that Officer Matthew Rubenstein was on routine patrol in the preserve on July 11th when he ran into a python contractor who had just bagged a hatchling. Okay.
The 2 looked around the area and found 18 more hatchlings. Sensing a nest nearby, they continued to search and found a pile with a 10-foot female Burmese python sitting on 23 unhatched eggs.
10-footer on 23 unhatched eggs.
10!
Wait for it. Wait for it. There's a bigger one. There's a bigger one.
Yeah, that wasn't the end. A few feet away, they found a second nest with 74 recently hatched eggs.
So you got 74 baby snakes. Now, the following night, the contractor returned and captured the female python from the second nest, and this one is 17 feet long, 17 and a half feet long. Wowza. So that's the one on the right. Yeah. Look how big that snake is.
17 and a half feet
Now, in
long.
case you're wondering, the Burmese python is an invasive species, and capturing females is critical to disrupting their breeding cycle. They're taken over in some of those areas, and of course they impact all kinds of other wildlife. So they're kind of sort of bad for all kinds of things.
So that's why they have to
so
capture
that's why they got to capture
not
them.
just because they're icky and gross,
Well,
but
that too.
okay, it does help with the environment.
17 and a half feet.
Ooh, that's big. Oh my gosh, some scary stuff. All right, well, moving on from that, last night, FSU's Master of Applied American Politics program hosting a Pups and Politicians event. This happened at Deep Brewery in Tallahassee. It was to raise money for TMH's animal therapy program. The event also giving city commission and mayoral candidates an opportunity to campaign and interact. Our Brandon Spencer was there and has the story.
As a part of a group project, students from FSU's Master of Applied American Politics program wanted to combine pups, brews, and politicians to raise money for TMH's animal therapy program.
Before the event even started tonight, we were able to raise $2,900 just for our sponsorships, and we're looking forward to totaling the amount at tonight because part of the proceeds from the beer sales go to the organization as well.
And when TMH's animal therapy program learned about Thursday's event, they say they felt beyond honored.
Oh, super excited. What a fun event to come and support. You know, we get our dogs out here, we get to see politicians, learn more about our community as a whole, which our animals serve the community, so just bringing everyone together.
A few of the dogs even at the event to showcase what they're able to do.
We give people a sense of what we do. It's kind of like test driving a car. Right. You get to experience animal therapy, even though it's not in a therapeutic setting. You're here, you get to feel what it's like to connect with that handler and animal.
Inside the brewery, people got the chance to meet and hear from local candidates to learn how they plan to help the community.
It's an applied politics program, so we want to make sure we involve that component as well. But also it's important that knowing the crowd that we were going to bring, especially young people, that they were involved in the city commission races, that they knew who the candidates were, and got a chance to meet them, because oftentimes they just don't get that chance. So we want to provide that as well.
Along with the $2,900 raised, 15% of drink sales Thursday would also go to the program, something Perkins says will be beneficial.
This funding is huge for us. It helps us bring on more teams so we can continue to spread the word and spread the animals in the community, supporting everyone that we possibly can.
A productive night. More fills will yield a good grade.
I'm hoping an A, so I'm looking at my classmates and telling them to make sure they give me an A for this project, this group project.
Reporting in Tallahassee, Brandon Spencer, WCTV, Eyewitness News.
Brandon says more and at least 16 other students helped put the event together, hoping their work can make a benefit to the community.
Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
All right, our day planner wants to keep those temperatures from getting all that warm in the first place, and that's going to have a lot to do with where we're getting the showers. I still think the warm spots are going to find those middle 80s, but we've got a pretty active radar early this morning, and there's that warning over here in parts of Jackson and Calhoun counties for some flash flood concerns just south of I-10, maybe a little bit east of Mariana. So what that's telling me is it's a bunch of rain in a small period of time after days and days and days of rain. And of course, that can cause flooding concerns. And I do think we can have more of that problem in more spots today because we're going to find more showers in more spots on and off. And we've had plenty over the past couple of days. Right now, from Moultrie almost up to Tifton and back down I-75 over towards Adel, we've got some showers. There are a few over near to Camilla, too. Let's slide back into parts of North Florida. And we're seeing a little bit more activity into parts of Jefferson County for a big part of Leon County now, especially right along I-10. And then most of Gadsden County and points west, we're finding some of those more moderate rains, and I see a lot more farther to the south and west, all trying to move to the north and to the east. And here's that area where the flash flood warning is going to go until 8 o'clock Central Time, so until 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And what that's telling me is bunch of rain and more expected, and that's going to make for some very dangerous driving conditions in this area. So if you've got travel that's going to take you that way, be extra careful. Maybe find a different route or put off that travel until the flash flood warning goes away. Here's what it's looked like over the past several hours. We saw some showers even trying to slide in from the east last night. So not just the typical pop-up ones that drift from west to east, but we're seeing some moving from other directions because we have so much available moisture and energy and support. Got all those ingredients lined up that makes the way for a pretty soggy setup. And I think today the soggiest. After today, we can start to pare down some of those rain chances, and I do think we'll start to confine them more to the afternoon and evening hours, at least a little bit better tomorrow and Sunday, and maybe by early next week we can get back to a more typical mid-July weather pattern. Temperatures around the region mostly between 70 and 75 right now. I see 70s for Perry and for Live Oak and for Cross City. Valdosta, we're at 71, Thomasville, we're at 72, Tallahassee, we're at 73, and Bainbridge, we're at 74. Futurecast shows plenty of showers across the area, but by 5, 6, 7 o'clock, maybe some of that activity calming down. And then we get a good window or a good gap, I think maybe till lunchtime tomorrow or later, where there'll be much fewer showers. And then we'll bring in some more during the afternoon, evening hours tomorrow, and more during the afternoon, evening hours on Sunday. All the while, it's going to have that look and feel like it should be raining even when it isn't. That unsettled and that muggy is not going away all weekend. Rain chances over the next 5 days start really high today, stay pretty high tomorrow and Sunday, but get a little bit lower as we head towards the beginning of next week. There's a look at the forecast for the next couple of days. Notice those top temperatures staying in the 80s because of those really high rain chances. Of course, unsettled and humid, and that's the way it's going to be probably all weekend.